fellow book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline, and for today's video, I thought that since it has been so long since we consistently posted here on YouTube, that I would talk about some of my favorite books I've had over the last 2 years. This is going to be a long list, and I'm also going to talk about some books that I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous to enter into this space. These are definitely books that I've talked about over on our Patreon, but heaven forbid a girl has diversified interests. I will say this, there will be no fanfics on this list because I have already posted a different video talking about a lot of my favorite fanfics I've been reading recently, so you can definitely go check that out. But this one is going to be romance, fantasy, and then some other stuff. But we'll get to that. We're saving that for the very end because I'm nervous. Okay, well, with that said, let's get started. So I mentioned this author on my most anticipated releases of 2025 video, and we read her debut book as our book buddy read on our Patreon a couple of years ago. And oh my gosh, we all loved the book so much, and it is Say You'll Be Mine by Nina Kumar. This book, hilarious, sweet, endearing, precious. I literally could gobble this book up. It is everything that I wanted and more. Again, we all absolutely adored it. The characters, the tension, the plot, all of it was absolute perfection. And Nina Kumar has released a new book this year and is flirting with disaster, so definitely go check that one out as well. So the next author whose books I've really been enjoying over the last couple of years is Julie Soto. Her first book was Forget Me Not, and then we have Not Another Love Song. She has The Thrashers and Rose in Chains, which are both coming out in 2025. And these have been wonderful. This is a second chance romance between a florist and a wedding planner. And then Not Another Love Song, they are rivals in a symphony. He plays the cello, she plays the violin. The tension is palpable and it is wonderful. I have just really appreciated the way that Julie has been able to write about a variety of different things. The Thrashers is more of like a YA mystery thriller. Obviously, we have rom-com, and Rose in Chains is going to be a romantasy. So she's just covered a lot of ground in the last couple of years, and I have really enjoyed her writing. So I think it would be impossible for me to have a list talking about my favorite books from the last couple of years and not include this author. However, we do have episodes covering most of the books, so I'm going to keep this really short. But Ali Hazelwood. I love her books, especially Bride, but genuinely, they're all funny, hilarious, poignant. I learn something new about myself every time I read one of her books, and I'm just a big fan of hers and her sense of humor, and I just think she's wonderful. So, of course, had to include Ali Hazelwood on this list. So continuing in the romance category, I have talked about this author before on YouTube. However, this book, this book in particular, worked for me. And it is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. This... Okay, so it's kind of a spin-off series to the Twisted Love series. Like, you see some of these characters in that one, but it's like kind of its own standalone book series, if you will. So this one in particular is my favorite in this new spin-off series. Billionaires, Marriage of Convenience. The audiobook is really good. I loved it. I loved it a lot, and I think I'm blushing right now just thinking about the book, but yes, this one was good. Oh, Dante. Okay, I just realized that I literally said nothing about the book other than Billionaires and Marriage of Convenience. No, you know what? That's actually all you need to know about this book. And then the audiobook is really good. So please do yourself a favor and go read this book. It's really fun. Another romance book that I thoroughly enjoyed last year that I was unprepared for how much I would enjoy was Lights Out by Navisa Allen. I listened to the audiobook of this and it's a duet narration. And this is definitely a dark romance, but has a wonderful sense of humor. And I think that really helped kind of balance everything for me, because as much as I would love to be a dark romance girly, I'm not. And so that one was one that pleasantly caught me off guard with how much I laughed and enjoyed the book overall. So my last one on like my romance recommendations, it is holiday themed. So maybe either save it for December, or if you're okay with reading about the Christmas holiday outside of December, then definitely check it out. But it is Can I Tell You Something by Holly June Smith. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this book. So our female main character always goes to the French Alps for the holidays with her family, but her brother, who now lives in LA, has not been able to come for the last couple of years, and she's like super bummed about it. But he decides to surprise them and brings along his best friend, who just so happens to be our female main character's favorite spicy audio narrator. So she recognizes him immediately. And then they're trapped for 2 weeks in a cabin together. There's one scene that lives rent-free in my head. So anyway, do with that what you will. But okay, moving on. Now moving into the fantasy portion of this video, I do have one YA fantasy recommendation. I think I have primarily moved into like new adult fantasy and just adult romance in general, but we read this book as a book buddy read for our Patreon, and oh my gosh, this whole series was wonderful. But it is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. This just felt super unique and wonderful, and the twist at the end of the book, my gob was smacked. Like, my flabber was gasted. It was wonderful. One of our dear friends, Whitney, had been recommending it to us for months, and so we were like, okay, we are absolutely going to do this as a buddy read. And we just all had a really great time discussing this book. The rest of the series was really, really good as well. I was really, really, really pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed this and how much fun I had. So would highly recommend. Okay, so the next one on this list I also talked about on our 2025 most anticipated releases. I will not shut up about this series, so I apologize in advance with how sick of me you were going to be. This series was my favorite read of last year. I think about it all the time. The next installment comes out sometime this year, and the way that I am gnawing on the bars of my enclosure for this book, I will be unwell. But it is the Witch Collector series by Teresa Weeks. This is wonderful. Also, a really beautiful edition that I love. But this series, oh my goodness, there's so much to love about it. So our main character, Raina, is a witch, and in this series, the witches, the way that they weave their spells is by singing, but our main character is mute, and so she signs all of her spells, and I just love that so much. Every single year, the Witch Collector comes and takes witches, and the year before, her sister had been taken, and so she decided that she's going to kill the Witch Collector. And the tension, the dialogue, Alexis is so good. City of Ruin, book 2, ruined me. I was the city that was ruined. And the ending, oh Oh my gosh, this series, it is so good. I will forever recommend the series to anyone who pauses long enough to listen. So just buckle up and be prepared for me to just nonstop talk about it because I love it so much. Okay, so the very last author on my fantasy list is Carissa Broadbent. She has written the Daughter of No Worlds trilogy as well as the Serpent in the Wings of Night series. And let me tell you, I love her writing. She writes the most complex characters, and I am instantly teleported into her worlds. Her writing is immaculate, and I just love the way that it just, I never know where it's going. Her Daughter of No World series absolutely broke me. And I truly feel like I have never read anything like this series before. Our female main character, she is so lovable and so strong and so fierce and so powerful, and I just love it. I love the worlds that she writes. In regards to her Serpent in the Wings of Night series, this series is still being written, and the best way that I can describe this first book is our main character is human, but she lives in a vampire realm, and essentially it's like she enters into the Hunger Games, and oh my gosh, I was on the edge of my seat this entire book. It is wonderful. Within the Serpent in the Wings of Night series, there are a handful of like interconnected standalones that she's already written. And so they do come into play in the series. Like, it is helpful to know the background information, but you can read them without having read the other ones yet. So if you are kind of like, I think I want to get into it, but that's like a big commitment of like, there are a lot of books and things are still coming out and you kind of want to test out if you're going to like her writing or not, I recommend starting with Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. This book is wonderful. Our main character is like essentially a nun assassin. She has given her life in service to her goddess, and she has blinded herself as like a show of her dedication. But because she's blind, she like has this ability to read the world in a very new and unique way. And she is sent on a mission to kill the vampire conqueror, and they fall in love, and it is phenomenal. You would not think that a lot could happen in just this many pages. It is, let's see, 430-ish pages. So much happens. The depth, the love, the sacrifice, the emotion, it is wonderful. I have read it multiple times and have loved it every time. I just think that it could be a really great starting point if you like need to dip your toe in and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to ease my way into this next section of the video. We're going to start off by just calling it kind of like cozy fantasy, and then it will morph. But let's start off with the cozy fantasy. First things first. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangumandana. Oh my gosh, the coziest, cutest, most wonderful fantasy ever. This was another one that we did as a book buddy read over on our Patreon. And y'all, it's just so stinking cute. Our main character is a witch, and she is invited into this home to teach these 3 young witches about magic, and it's just the cutest, sweetest found family. It is hilarious. The antics of this book are so cute and comical, and the love is just really sweet and tender, and I just really enjoyed this one a lot. The next one in the cozy fantasy realm is Assistant to the Villain. I think that these books are a lot of fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed reading them and recommending them to people. Talk about funny and cute and chaotic, and it's nice because like while there are stakes, the stakes do feel low. This is an ongoing series. I believe it's going to be 4 books. Book 3 comes out later on this year. It is slow burn, slow. Like very, 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 very slow. But it's really sweet and tender, and I giggle and kick my feet like a little kid every single time I read these books. Another sweet and cozy fantasy that I enjoyed so much last year was The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This book was so cute and whimsical. Our main character is a librarian in the capital city, and the capital is overrun by a rebellion, and so she flees with as many books as she can and her sentient plant, and she goes back to her home island where her parents grew up, and she's basically trying to restore her family home. And her neighbor, who is just the definition of sunshine golden retriever, while she's a little bit more of like a black cat introverted character. It is just so cute. He's just so patient and kind and persistent, and it's just adorable. I read it in one sitting and just absolutely ate it up. And the first book that I read this year was A Rivalry of Hearts by Tisonia Adet. This book was adorable. It is about a human author who is going into the Fae realm to promote her book on a book tour, but lo and behold, she did not realize that she was going to be on tour with this grumpy Fae poet. And there turns out to be this competition of whoever sells the most books on the tour is actually going to be the one who gets the deal. And so they're having this competition. They decided to add in another element to the competition after a night of having one too many drinks, and she doesn't realize that it's him trying to flirt, and so she takes it very seriously. So it just adds this like wonderful comedic element to the story. It was such a promising way to start the year, and it makes me really happy that this was the first book that I read of 2025. This next one is definitely going to help me bridge the gap the most into our next category. This is absolutely cozy fantasy. It is wonderful. But it is A Little Too Familiar by Lish McBride. This book is so cute. It is set in the Pacific Northwest, and it is about, she's kind of like a familiar veterinarian, if you will. Like, she takes care of your familiars, like the animals, like witches animals, and he is, I believe, like a wolf shifter. Yes. And it is so cute. They end up becoming roommates, and basically he doesn't have a pack anymore, and so he just kind of adopts all of his roommates as his pack and just wants to take care of them. It is so cute, and I was shocked by how nervous the end of this book made me. Like, I was sweating. I was worried for a hot minute there, but this one is just so cute and it's fun, and I had a fabulous time reading this. It is time. I talk about these books on our Patreon. I don't talk about these books outside of it, so again, I'm a little nervous. Okay, we've made it to the last category. Notice that there are no more books here. These are all been read on my Kindle. The last category is monster romance. I'll just come out and say it outright. Monster romance. And there are a lot of books on this list. The best way that I can recommend going forward with this list is maybe go in with expectations on the ground, and you too might have the best time. So let's just get into it. I don't know how much detail I'm going to go into these books with, because fill in the blank, but I do recommend these. So the first one is Luxuria by Colette Rhodes. I do think that this was the one that kind of like kickstarted it all. Basically, he's a shade, kind of think of like Nightmare vibes, and she has grown up in shade killer family, and like her whole life is supposed to be hunting them. However, she got kicked out when she was a teenager because they found drawings of her more curious about the shades rather than wanting to kill them. So now fast forward like a number of years, and she has been tasked with marrying the King of the Shades, and she's like, sign me up. Y'all. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. So yeah. Okay, the next one was A Kiss from a Demon by Charlotte Swan. This one was short, and I liked it. Our main character is trying to get out of an arranged marriage, and she meets a demon. And there you go. That's all you need to know. The next one is King's Bride by Beck Michaels. This one is very ACOTAR coded, and he is kind of like an ice king, if you will. She tried to steal something from him. She failed. Her boyfriend was killed. And so instead of like the king killing everyone in her village, her dad was like, hey, what if you just married her? And so they did. I will say this, I was surprised at how much plot was in this book. There's a plot. If you were just looking for an author to just go on like a bender and read all of their backlog, Alessa Thorne is your girl. She is your girl. She has like a mythology gods series. I think she also has like an Egyptian god series. I haven't read that one yet. But she also has one like dragon shifters, vampires. She has so many different series, and I think I read 16 in a row. So like, they're short, and I really like them, and so I think they're good recommendations. The next one is Demon's Bride by Lee Miller, and this one's also a little bit ACOTAR coded, but I really enjoyed it. So our main character is a witch, and she doesn't have much power, and every year, I think like on the solstice or something, a demon comes, and basically a witch wife is chosen for them, and then she goes and she lives in his realm. So she's the one who gets picked this year, and lo and behold, it was the king of the demons who chose her, and she finds out that their world is kind of losing power, and she has to figure out like what is killing the world. This one also had a surprising amount of plot to it, but I wasn't mad about it. This next one, I cackled. I loved it. It was another one of my favorite books of last year. The author also wrote Lola and the Millionaires, but this one is The Alpha of Bleak Isle by Catherine Moon, and y'all, I was not prepared for how much I was going to love this. So basically think like Regency era setting, but that's like it. Like you're not going to be inundated with like historical, like just the setting. And our main character is human, and she is basically being forced to marry this super old man that she doesn't want to, but there is like a dragon shifter ruler of their area, and he's trying to find a wife, and she is chosen in like a comical series of events. It is a megaverse as well, and when I say that I am so excited for the rest of the books that are going to be coming out in this series, like some of my most highly anticipated releases of like of a long time, because I had so much fun reading this book, and I've recommended it to a handful of friends, and like all of us ate it up and loved it together. I might reread it after this video is done, because I just love it so much. It is hilarious. Okay, so this next one, I did not love everything in it. However, had a good time. It is Viciously Yours by Jamie Applegate Hunter. So the premise of this book is that there's like a human settlement in the Fae territories, like right next to it. And every year, I think on like the 16th birthday, 15th birthday or something like that, the Fae find out who their like soulmate is. But our Fae prince lo and behold, gets a human. But he cannot cross the human barrier until he turns like 25. So for 10 years, he writes letters to his soulmate and has his best friend deliver them to this girl who is human, lives in an orphanage, has had a really hard life, and he like gives her presents. So for 10 years, she has been falling in love with him through letters. And on his 25th birthday, he goes to meet her for the first time, but she thinks that it's his best friend who has been delivering the letters because she accidentally caught sight of him one time. And so she kisses his best friend thinking that's who she's been falling in love with for 10 years. So anyway, again, there were some things that I was like, oh, but like I had a good time. So this next one is 100% a shout out to Liz and Amanda because we all went on this journey together. Liz invited us to read this series by Zoe Draven, and it has expanded into her other series and other aspects to it. But hands down, our favorite one by far has been Claimed by the Horde King. Yes, don't judge me. I don't want to hear it. This, like, just accept it. Like, I'm just gonna ask you right now. I know the words that are coming out of my mouth don't seem like words that would go together very well, but like, just accept it. So in this Zoe Draven universe, if you will, it is a sci-fi and fantasy element in one of the series. It is like alien vampires with wings. Then there's another one that's like alien dragon. And then there's another one of like alien alien nomadic horde kings with tails. Don't really know about the tails. I think it's just part of them being alien. I have dabbled in all three of those series, and I can absolutely say that the Horde King series so far has been collectively our favorite. Liz has read all 6 of them. I had to pause to read other things for the podcast, but now that I am done, I have every intention of going back. But book 2 has been our favorite so far. So do with that information what you will. But I recommend checking it out. So the last one on my list is A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. I will say this, I have not liked any of the other books in this series, unfortunately, but I did really enjoy this first one. And similar concept of she lives in this human village, and like every like 25 years, I can't remember, the beast who lives in the woods comes forward and selects a wife, and she gets chosen. I was not ready for like how tender parts of this book were gonna be, but I really liked it. There were definitely some things where I was like, but you know what? Sometimes they just have to do what they have to do, you know? Like, who am I to judge? Well, that is it for this video. Thank you so much if you have stuck around to the very end of this video. It definitely went in a direction that I did not ever plan on going on this channel. But if you have any recommendations for any of these topics, please let me know. Or if you read any of these, let me know what you think, because I'm very curious. But if you would like to learn a little bit more about us, you can check us out over on the Bibliovert podcast on Instagram. We also have a podcast called the Bibliovert Podcast, where we do book reviews. Our most recent episode was Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. And we have a Patreon, which is so much fun and filled with incredible book-loving people from all over the world. We do a monthly book buddy read, we do 2 Patreon exclusive episodes, and we have a chat, which is a lot of fun. And we would love for you to join us. But I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.